Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avengers comic book review. Finally back on time, and we're here with 50 years later. Amazing Spider-Man 678.
Yep.
A two-part story arc begins here. Mike, you read this along with me. Somebody from Horizon Labs created a doorway. Grady. Thank you. I can't remember. There's so many characters. Grady created a doorway into the future.
Of tomorrow, basically.
The day of, basically this portal takes you into tomorrow. And he's explaining to Pete that this is the rec room of tomorrow. And Pete's like, yeah, futuristic stuff. He's like, no, you walk through this doorway, you're in tomorrow. So Pete walks through, but basically if Pete walks through, in other words, he didn't exist from when he walked into tomorrow all the way up until he did walk into tomorrow. That's hard to explain. So Pete was gone for an entire day, basically. And in doing that, all of a sudden, the world went from being all nice, peaceful, and calm to the world basically ended. And we don't know how. And it's all because Spider-Man left that day. He was gone for an entire day. So Grady actually says, how are you, if I stepped through, everything was fine. Why, when you stepped through, how are you so important that now the world ended because you did that? It's kind of actually shows also how important Spider-Man is to the Marvel U, because apparently if Spider-Man wasn't around,
then the world would be destruction.
Exactly. Madam Web makes her appearance for a bit and explains to him, don't involve anybody. If you involve somebody, you're basically taking them away from what they're normally supposed to be doing, which he kind of breaks that rule because he uses Grady. He's asking Grady for help, so that takes him away from him doing his normal stuff. So, yeah, he does everything. He tries, he makes sure he gets to every single crime that happens in New York City that he's supposed to get to, but everything is still bad. So, obviously, he's missing something, and as the issue ends, it gets to the time where that bad event happened.
Due to the watch that he found.
The watch that he found in the destroyed Tuesday stopped at a specific time. And he knew he had to fix things before that time or else things were going to go to hell. It gets to that time and you just see the clock start to crack, to be continued next month. And I am on edge trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen next. It's going to be interesting.
And then he feels regret saying, why did I listen to Madam Web?
Why didn't I? Yeah, he doesn't listen to Madam Web. That was stupid. See, because apparently I have a feeling it was Grady who was supposed to do something and he didn't. And because he got Grady involved in helping himself out, in helping him figure out what the crimes were and everything.
Because they looked in the paper.
They looked in the paper from the future. Because he involved Grady in his plan to make sure that the Bad Tuesday doesn't happen, maybe that's why the world went to hell, because Grady wasn't on his normal schedule. He was using Grady, and Grady was doing what he wasn't supposed to be doing.
But I gotta see what happens next.
I'm interested.
It is great, and that's all the
really good this week. This book was really one of my favorites from this week. I'd say definitely Marvel's must-have of the week.
And Buy the Hat, of course.
Book that I'm probably going to drop. I want to say apparently, but because everybody knew I was going to probably drop this and everybody said it was a matter of time, Legion of Superheroes #5. It's just, they're wrecking now. They're just rec rooming. They're coming back from what happened in the previous issue, and they're building the Legion again, sort of. Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl are with their family and they're not in the Legion of Superheroes anymore. Brainy's trying to create another time-traveling bubble to travel back in time and avoid the whole Flashpoint problem. It's just, we don't know exactly. It's setting up to the next story, but it's really, in my opinion, you guys know me, I really didn't get a big enjoyment out of Legion of Superheroes when they did it way back. About a year ago, Legion of Superheroes #1. This is kind of following along in that pattern. The artwork is also different in this book. I'll give you guys an example of the artwork.
It doesn't really look that much like interesting.
It's not too interesting. I'm probably, being honest with you guys, as I said for Resurrection Man last week, this week I'm going to say once again that I think this book isn't going to make it to issue 6, unfortunately. I don't see any interest in continuing this series too much. No, this was no, I don't want to use that page. There we go. It's basically a full day in the life of the Legion of Superheroes. Nothing bad really happens, but I think it's setting up for something. I like how Brainiac's going to fix the time bubble, and he's probably going to, at some point, travel back in time. I might get those issues if they have Superman in it, just to see exactly why they're traveling back in time to get Superman. Other than that, though, I think I'm dropping Legion of Superheroes number 5.
Then again, Superman could be their only hope, so to say, because maybe that's why they're doing that.
Maybe. But I can't really... I know nobody's really reviewing this. It's not one of... You either like the Legion of Superheroes or you don't. If you don't, then I wouldn't advise you pick it up. If you're going to jump into it like this, to be honest, this would be a good first issue to jump in on and give it a shot. This feels more jump-on friendly than number 1 did, because number 1 was dealing too much with the stuff that happened before the relaunch.
Yep.
Wonder Woman number 5, another book that it's on the rocks, but on the edge, but at the same time I'm enjoying it enough right now that I'm not going to drop it just yet. Wonder Woman comes face to face with Poseidon, who's this big squid thing. We all know that Zeus has stepped down, and all of his brothers are going to try to take his throne now. And Wonder Woman is in London, and it's a lot of dialogue, and she meets up with this guy. What was his name? I can't pronounce it. I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce it. Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox.
He tells her to be on the bridge at a specific time at the stroke of 6, and she doesn't know why, and it turns out because Poseidon is attacking, or Poseidon shows up. And here's Lord Poseidon. The internal artwork is really, really good. Really good.
That's one big squid.
Yeah. And she's saying, I know you're heading for the throne, but the throne already is taken. And, what do you call it? Hera has basically claimed the heavens for herself. And he's like, what? Does she dare? And Wonder Woman's like, yes. And then Hera's like, what? And then it's to be continued. And in the next issue, it's the thrones. So apparently everybody's going for the throne of Zeus and the heavens. And Wonder Woman is basically saying Hera has the throne, even though she doesn't. I don't know what Wonder Woman's plan is yet, but I'm interested enough to stick around, maybe one more issue. And if I'm still feeling iffy, I'll probably drop it.
That's another iffy with a drop.
Iffy. The other one is a most likely drop. This is just iffy.
So there's a difference there.
Red Hood and The Outlaws number 5. Now, this is the book that's been getting the most slack. A lot of people are saying that it's hard to read, the whole Starfire thing. And it's like, you know what? Really, if you look over that, this is a really good book. Now, granted, I really didn't care about the parts with Arsenal and Starfire too much. I really cared more to read on about Jason Todd. And they go back in time a bit, and they explain how Jason Todd was working with Durka. I want to say her name is Durka. I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong. He has a flashback while he's fighting this unknown, and the flashback is to his training there and how he had gotten close with this woman. And she says, and this is what gets me, and this is why I said I know what's going to happen with Jason Todd. He's eventually going to become a great hero, because she actually says here, one day your heart will shine brighter than the dark fury inside you, and that day will be glorious. In other words, his hatred for the Joker who murdered him, and his anger against Batman for A, not being there to protect him, and B, not killing the man that killed him, is going to subside, and he's going to become a great hero possibly one day. And that I predicted. I always knew that the Red Hood had a huge potential. In a way, I'm glad that people voted for Jason Todd to die way back when, because now he's back many years later, and his character has more potential than ever. And basically in the end he kills the Unknown. I won't say how, you should really read it. And the ending was hilarious, and you just have to read it, you have to see it to believe it. It's hilarious.
Looks hilarious.
Run for your life.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, and Starfire didn't lose her powers. It was possibly temporary, but nothing more. And Roy and Starfire got away from the bat creature, which I cannot remember his name right now for the life of me.
We'll just call him the Unknown.
No, he's not the Unknown, because the person Jason was fighting was the Unknown. And it's really good. It builds up more of Jason Todd's past, so to speak. And at the same time, you gain a new appreciation for the character. And I like this book. I know a lot of people talk down on it. A lot of people say it's stupid and there's the whole Starfire thing. Take my advice. Look over Starfire and Arsenal and just look at the Jason Todd parts. It makes this book worth reading every time. I like Jason Todd. Granted, if they did this, like I said, and got rid of the Outlaws, I'm not covering Outlaws probably tomorrow, and it's just Red Hood, I'd be buying this book and dropping the Outlaws part. Because it's good. Trust me, guys. It's really, really good. Unfortunately, though, you're going to have to wait for this story arc to conclude so you can get it in trade paperback, because unless you can get all 5 issues, you're going to be lost. Green Lantern Corps number 5. No Guardians in this issue. Guy Gardner's getting a team together because he's going to save John Stewart and the other Green Lanterns. In this issue, though, we do get backstory for the who the people are that were guarding over the Green Lanterns. Basically, the Guardians went to their planet and asked them to... I'm going to the flashback. This is the whole flashback, by the way. Beautifully drawn picture. Those you can see it.
It looks beautifully drawn.
Yes. The Guardians brought the Lanterns to that Earth where it was inhabited by these people, and they actually made a truce. They would be the Guardians over the Green Lantern power batteries. And then suddenly, without warning or reason, they took the Lanterns back, and the world slowly died because the Green Lantern Lanterns were bringing life into the world, and without the Lanterns, the life ended and everything died, and that's why these people are going after the Green Lanterns and the huge power battery on Oa. So now it's up to Guy Gardner and the others to go after, well, first he's building up a team. He actually gets 2 Yellow Lantern, 2 Sinestro Corps Lanterns actually, to join in on the rescue mission and to go against these, I forgot what they were called, but anyway, to go against them. And the last page was my favorite. I'm going to spoil it. They get some arms, and that's how it concludes. So basically, this is the whole issue can be summed up as Guy Gardner builds a team and then gets his team weapons, and they're heading off now to save John Stewart and the other Green Lanterns. And you also get a backstory towards the antagonists in this series. Out of the 3 Green Lantern series, this is definitely 3rd place because I like what's going on with Kyle Rayner in New Guardians, and we all know Green Lantern is going pretty strong right now. When this story's over, I'm hoping that things will build up a bit more and get a little bit better. It's really good, and it builds up. You start to really build up a bit of more of a dislike for the Guardians. I've had this dislike since before, so yeah, I would absolutely say check this out. It's a really good book. It'll definitely change your... If you like the Guardians, at some point reading this, Green Lantern and New Guardians, you will definitely build up a small, if not huge, dislike for the Guardians.
As I am as well.
Catwoman number 5. What the hell is this book doing here? Moving along.
Oh,
Birds of Prey number 5. Yeah, I accidentally bought it. I wasn't supposed to. I forgot to take it off my pull list.
Oops.
Birds of Prey number 5. This book was really good. Nobody remembers what happened. Their minds were completely wiped, and now Black Canary is trying to figure out what exactly happened. And they're being chased by the police. Batgirl is missing. Turns out later on in the book, Batgirl is back. She just has no memory of what happened the night before. And, what's her name? I forgot her name. I keep forgetting her name, and it's terrible. I gotta start writing names down of characters, but, Katana, thank you. Katana's husband remembers what's happened and is trying to, and is explaining to Katana as everything's going on. They run, they meet up with Batgirl later on, and they're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. They learn a bit more into the people that they're chasing after, and then they choose to meet up at a certain place. Starling, however, her address was wrong, and these guys show up, and they're after her, and she thinks that Black Canary turned on her. However, before that, Black Canary's like, where's Starling? So, basically, Starling's feeling betrayed, and that's where it's left off. It's a lot of talking, a lot of what just happened. I feel like we did something, but we can't remember now. Katana is the only one with a little bit of insight because her husband, his spirit, is connected to her sword. So, other than that, it's still... issue kind of felt like we did something.
Yeah.
I don't remember what, but we did something, and we need to remember because it's important. Really good though. Nice cover. I like the cover. I like the paint cover. And absolutely check it out. I'm glad I started Birds of Prey, even though it was late, and I do have a second printing of #1. Birds of Prey was really worth checking out. Last two books of the week. First off is Nightwing #5. The story in this basically, first of all, I love how, I don't know if anybody else who got Nightwing #5 has this problem, but apparently my Nightwing #5 has a bottom staple, but no top staple. So I'm only one staple for this comic book. So my comic basically can talk.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was
so
like,
I really,
wow.
I don't want to keep it out. I don't want to show too much. I don't want to read through the pages too much because I don't want to risk the other staple getting ripped out of the book. However, I will say the artwork in this book is really awesome, and I would say definitely check it out. I love Nightwing. Anyway, in this issue, it's about one of the people in the circus. He has a ex-girlfriend who's into witchcraft and summoning stuff, thus the monster. And Nightwing finds out about it because the guy gets attacked in the backstage area of the circus. And as Nightwing, he goes and saves the guy, and the girl, I guess his ex, is going off to jail. The end. The last page is the page that's huge. Huge spoiler here, guys, so you may want to fast forward at least 20 seconds forward from now. It turns out that the girl that he's in love with is working with Psycho. And they're planning something against Dick. And that's where they leave you off. And in the next issue it says the big showdown or the big show under the big top or something like that. Building up really nice. Can't wait for this to end though, because I want to see Nightwing just back in Gotham doing what he does best instead of being running around working in the circus he used to inhabit as a child. Really good though. Nightwing's awesome. Book of the week from DC. Like Amazing Spider-Man, Batman #5. Batman is at the mercy of the Council of Owls. We don't know if he's going crazy. We don't know what's going on, but he's in this labyrinth. And he's slowly going, in my opinion, insane. He drinks the water from the fountain, and 2-to-1, that's what drives him completely bonkers. The artwork's really good. Symbolism is awesome. He's like, it looks like he's actually going mad. And you see, the book goes from being regular to up and down. It's up and down again. And then, after this page, I thought I was crazy. This is right side up, right? No. You have to actually read the book upside down, and you have to read it like a manga from left to right.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, from right to left. And it's upside down all the way until this page. See, now I'm right side up again. And it's left off there. Batman's slowly going insane, and we don't know why. We don't know what's going on, but that last page that I just showed you guys, that's where it's left off.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to see how Batman's going crazy and seeing it from his perspective of it going this way.
He's just going insane. He's slowly going insane.
That's
I
amazing.
love the last page. I'm going to spoil it. It's the bat signal on fire, and you just see Robin show up. We all know is his son. And he's like, get a new one. Now. And then he's demanding it, and he's like, now please, you know. And you just see him and Jim Gordon, you know, standing near the bat signal, and that's where they leave you off. In the very beginning, however, though, they do have there's a search team out, Nightwing and Robin, and you see Batgirl looking for him, Catwoman, even Batwing makes a appearance to try to find him. Even Alfred, the whole Bat crew is looking for Batman because he's gone missing for a while. And yeah, they're not exactly getting anywhere. I'm surprised Red Robin isn't looking for him.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Maybe because he's too busy with, you know, what's going on with the Teen Titans. Really good issue. I'm loving Batman. This book is #1 in the Bat titles for me. Greg Capullo's artwork is awesome. The story is really, really good. It's like, I agree with what one of the articles said, where they said, this book, when Batman comes out of this trial against, or this fight against the Council of Owls, he's going to be a lot stronger than he's ever been before. Because he's being pushed to his limits right now. A lot. And that's all I really can say about it. This was a really, really, really good book. You guys should be reading Batman. Granted, they're using Batman in DC just like they used Deadpool and Marvel 2 years back. But even though Batman's in all the books, if you ignore Batman guest starring in almost every single book under the sun, you just focus on the Batman book, really good.
Yep.
Second place to this is Batman and Robin, and then we have Dark Knight and Detective Comics, but this book is tops. If you have to pick one Batman book, this is the book. Book of the week.
Yeah.
And possibly book of the month. It was really good. No, I would still say Scarlet Spider had a good start too. There's a lot of books of the month.
Yeah, there's so many.
For those of you who don't know, I'm going to be taking the books of the week for each week and the best and the worst book of each week. And on Comic Community Central, I'll be doing a monthly comic review of the best and worst comics of whatever month. So next week, once we get the last week's worth of comics for January, you can go check out on CCC my monthly review of these books. But however, I'm probably going to be saying exactly what I said during these comic reviews, like what I said for this. I'm going to probably just re-say again for the Comic Community Central channel, maybe add a few extra things or compare it to other books from the month, why I feel that book is really good, etc. So just letting you guys know, there will be monthly Dark Avenger reviews for Comic Community Central.
Behind the camera, so see you next week.
And with that, we are now officially caught up. Like I said, guys, hopefully I'll be caught up on Batwoman, so I'll be able to start reviewing Batwoman right away. Mark, I'm sure you're